PMC fans of the world, it's the Power Rankings for Week 4. I'm your host, themewthebest, and I'm bringing you a nice Power Rankings today. So yeah, unfortunately, my partner, or who was supposed to be my partner, actually became a coach, so he can't actually be on the Power Rankings team anymore. But yeah, I am here at least. We got an Asian here talking to you guys. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Let's just get to it. At number 16, we have the San Antonio Victory Bells. The person who actually played with this was the Richmond Rayquazas, and yeah, they're a winless team, so that's why they're this low. I don't really have much else to say, exactly like last week. So yeah, next up we have the Orlando City Superiors. They played against a pretty solid team, but they lost. They lost to the number one team, being the Green Bay Pikachus. And well, they were under the Colorado Mammoth Swines last week, which is why they're still under them, because both of them lost, and both of them lost pretty handily. I was thinking about putting the Orlando City Superiors over the Colorado Mammoth Swine because I feel the Orlando City Superiors, they played better, but I just decided to keep it like this. The Colorado Mammoth Swines, however, they lost to a Team 2, which was actually the number 2 of last week. So I guess maybe the Orlando City Superiors should be higher, but yeah, like I said, I just decided to keep it that way. He lost a pretty convincing 3-0 against the Grimsby Town Grimers, if I recall. And yeah, so he played well, but he could not win in the end. Next up, the Phoenix Incineroars. Jonah, he lost to the Seattle Smeargles. And the reason why he's a bit lower is because two teams that were ranked a bit lower got raised up, and those two teams, they were ranked lower, but they had a really convincing win. Like, they had good prep and they played well, which is why Jonah, who lost against the Seattle Smeargles, went down these 2 slots. So unfortunately for you, Jonah, you're number 13 right now. But in no way did you play bad. It's just that the Seattle Smeargles did win, and the 2 teams that were below you, that raised up, played so well. And I think they deserve to go a bit higher. Next team we have is number 12, the New York Cosmogs. They were previously ranked 15, but they beat a really higher ranked team, which is really impressive, you know. That team was previously in the top 4, if I recall correctly. Let me check real quick, actually, so I can actually be a bit accurate. So the New York Cosmogs Phantom Bass faced number 6, the Red Spark Vikerbolts, and he had a really nice win against him, which is why he went up 3 slots. I just thought it was a really impressive win, and it just shows that everyone in the PMC is a solid battler and no one can be counted out. And especially in this case, because Phantom Bass he just played really well, and that's why he went up. So congrats to you. We're moving on to number 11, the Commissioner, J. Specs. The Hamden High Dragons. He played a really solid team too, which would actually be the Montreal Monfernos. The Montreal Monfernos were ranked 5. They were ranked number 5. And unfortunately, I believe that's a second loss in a row for the Montreal Monfernos. And J Specs here, he played super solidly. Masquerain put in massive work. Masquerain bringing the pain. Get it. So yeah, if you don't get the reference, then you didn't watch this video. And if you haven't watched this video, you suck. So anyways, the Hamden High Dragons, they played super solidly. I don't think they had really any big misplays. They just played solidly the entire time. And the Montreal Monfernos, they were not able to pick up enough momentum because Landorus T was taken out by Masquerain, and weakened down to the point where Mammoth Swine could net another kill. And in my opinion, I really wouldn't have set up a Rock Polish without a Yache Berry with Banded Mammoth Swine that was present. So in my opinion, that wasn't really the best play, and J-Specs took advantage of that, lived the Sludge Wave, and hit him with a Ice Beam. Masquerain putting in work. Next up, we have another solid team against a solid team. Oh my god, how many times am I gonna say solid? Well, whatever, but the Oregon Ducklets, they lost a pretty intense match versus the Bandifica's Heracross Knight, and that game was a really nice game. Heracross, he brought such nice prep. He prepped so well for him, and you can't ignore that. For example, Cobalion with the Flash Cannon HP Ice took out the Landorus T, and that's just one of the good sets. He just brought so many threatening monsters, and the Oregon Ducklets unfortunately were not able to keep up. At the end, Magirna was taking out a few mons, which was really nice, and possibly if things went out a little bit differently during the end game, Primarina could have won, but unfortunately for him, the Heracross, he just played well and he prepped well, so that's why the Oregon Ducklets are still here. Next up, the Seattle Smirgles. They went up a slot after beating the Phoenix Incineroars. The Phoenix Incineroars were previously ranked 11, and Sketchy Smeargle ranked 10. That's why he went up. I don't really have much to say about that. He won 3-0, if I recall correctly, and he just had a really solid playing, so that's why he's there. He just went up a slot, he won. So yeah, I'm just keeping it like that. And our next player is the Montreal Monfernos, and well, they were previously ranked number 5, but they lost against number, I believe, 12 from last power rankings, and he wasn't in the lead for like basically any of the game. So J-Specs just played solidly, so unfortunately for him, he couldn't get a chance to gain any momentum. It's not his fault that J-Specs played so well, but to lose to a lower ranked team, that's why he's taking such a hit in the rankings, going from 5 to 8. I don't really have much to say to that besides, good job, Specs. You did good. And, well, our next player is the Red Spark Vikavolt, losing against a lower ranked player as well, being the previously ranked 15 New York Cosmogs. And Phantom Base played really well, and yeah, the Red Spark Vikavolt played well too, but simply could not handle the Trick Room Magirna or the Alolan Marowak. It was a bit of a poor team matchup, but the fact that the Phantom Base was able to take advantage and take the win is why the Red Spark Vikavolt dropped a couple slots. So yeah, nothing against him. He didn't really have much for Magirna or Alolan Marowak. Just losing to the number ranked 15 just takes him a dent. And next up, it's the Aussie. Terrible accent. In fact, that did not sound Australian at all. But whatever. We got the Bird here. And he beat a really high-ranked team, being who's actually above him right now because he was ranked pretty high too. It was the Sydney Crocodiles dropping down to number 5, and the Tampa Bay Frogadiers going up from 8 to 6. He had a really extremely convincing win against Sharpino and the Sydney Crocodiles. He actually won 5-0, and despite him being ranked lower than what I believe his skill level is, I still think this is a fitting from jumping up from last week, jumping up 2 slots actually. I believe that he played really well, as you can probably tell if you know what a 5-0 is. So yeah, that's why he's up there. Bird climbing up the ladder a bit, and next up, his opponent who lost to the Bird. The reason why the Bird isn't above Sharpino right now is because Sharpino was still ranked high, and I don't believe that losing just this one match should make him drop that much. That's just my thought process. He took a pretty hard hit losing to the Tampa Frogadiers 5-0 this week, but I believe he can make a comeback. He's been playing solid this whole season. I don't see why 1 week should stop him. And now, the top 4. At number 4, we have Heracross Knight, and he took a pretty big jump from, I believe, 7 to number 4. He just prepped so well during that match. There wasn't really much that his opponent could do because his prep was so good. He also played phenomenal. And yeah, this was probably one of my favorite matches of the week. It was just really entertaining to watch. Both sides played really well, and Heracross's sets were just... It was just really hard for his opponent to beat, which is why he was able to win, and the reason why he was able to jump up. He also beat a stronger opponent, which is also why he jumped up. So yeah, props to you, Heracross. Your boy, Pincer. Keep it up. And next, our top 3 are the same as last week because all of them played really well, and all of them won again. So yeah, right now we have number 3 with Mastodon, with the Mastodon Gastrodons. That's a tongue twister. He played number 16, which is why I don't think, even though he won, I don't think he should should have any reason to go above the Grimsby Town Grimers. I just think that he should stay at number 3, which is why our top 3 are the same right now. Number 2, the Grimsby Town Grimers also beat a lower ranked team, but not number 16, which is why he's staying at number 2. And number 1, Jacob, as always. The Green Bay Pikachus, they are undefeated. It's funny how number 1's undefeated and number 16 is defeated. Not to say that they're bad battlers, because of course the PMC is a really solid league. It's one of the better leagues that I've seen. So the competition is just really tough. And the fact that you can going undefeated in any league with hacks and all those other factors, it's just really tough. So I commend you. So here we are with the end of the power rankings for week 4. I'm gonna be recording again for next week for week 5 sometime soon. So yeah, enough rambling. That's week 4. Stay in the I don't know. Bye.